on UFC Fight Pass, Pluto Television, our Facebook page, anywhere around the world. We appreciate it. This is the premier vacation destination in the United States, maybe in the world. And this year we've had our ups and downs in the glory ring, just like this roller coaster, Joe. But right now it's great to be in the United States after having back-to-back shows in Europe. He's Joseph Valtellini. I'm Todd Grisham. A total of 12 fights to get to, including 2 on the prelims. Joe, what fight throughout the whole night has you most excited?
Well, I'm excited to see Elvis Gashi back. I mean, he's been doing well, undefeated, and he's got a really tough opponent in Justin Houghton, who's been looking good as well. But that featherweight championship in the main event of the Glory 67 show, Anvar Bornazarov against Pech Panamurung, heavy kicker versus a heavy puncher, so I'm excited for that one too.
Let's show you exactly what we have in store for you. Starting on our prelims, 2 fights, including the return of Paul Banasik, who went to Thailand, Joe, won 5 fights in a row, all 5 by stoppage.
Yeah, and he's really looking for a big dominant win here, and you know, he's 0-3 right now, so a big win against Kral can give him that confidence to keep going and keep improving in kickboxing rules.
And it's Nick Chasteen and Glory debutant Javanis Ross, who has a great story, which we'll tell you in a few minutes. After the prelims, it's the Glory 67 Super Fight Series. 5 fights on that card, including an intriguing main event, Sergey Adamchuk versus Kevin Van Nostrand, 2 former champions.
Yeah, and both very different stylistically. I mean, Adamchuk is a southpaw who's very technical, a good distance control, and has been sitting at the top of the featherweight division for some time now. But Kevin Van Nostrand is more that unorthodox style and constantly improving, adding new tools to his repertoire, so expect a lot of spin attacks and unorthodox striking.
Also, it's the return of Rebecca Irwin, Glory's youngest ever signing. She's just 18 years old. She takes on Taylor Jenkins in the co-main. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern time, live, it's Glory 67. 5 more fights to get to. Joe said that Elvis Gashi fight, and Jeho, as he's known, piques his interest the most, could be the fight of the night. But how about Jafar Wilness and D'Angelo Marshall in the heavyweight division?
Yeah, there's a lot of bad blood between the two. You know, D'Angelo Marshall used to train at Coliseum Gym with Jafar Wilness. They split up, and I mean, Jafar Wilness said, I'm going to show him that it was a big mistake for leaving the team.
Also, the first fight on Glory 67 involves Abraham Vidalas out of Mexico. Joe, of all the prospects in Glory, he's one of your favorites. What do you love about Abraham so much?
Well, I mean, I love him because it kind of reminds me of me in there. You know, he's undefeated and he's got a lot of good knockouts on his record. And he's just an intelligent young fighter. You're going to see him use ring control, good power kicks and level changes, man. And just, I'm excited to see him develop through his career here with Glory.
All right, it's me and you for the next 5 hours. You ready?
I'm ready, brother.
Here we go. The Glory prelims starting right now.
Hello again, everybody. Nice to see you here in Orlando Silver Spurs Arena. We are just about ready to get this party started with 12 great fights on the card tonight. The Super Fight Series will be headlined by a featherweight matchup of 2 former champions, Kevin Van Nostrand and Sergey Adamchuk. Your main event tonight of Glory 67 Orlando, also in the featherweight division, is of course 5 rounds for the featherweight championship of the world. But we'll get things started here with the first of 2 preliminary bouts. This one in the welterweight division. Let's get our combatants to the ring. Please welcome Taylor Kral.
It is the Glory debut for Taylor Kral, 5-2 overall, just 26 years old, fighting out of Sunrise, Florida. Joe, you've watched plenty of tape on this guy. What do you expect?
Well, he's a really tall fighter and comes from a good background with the American Top Team. His father was a key part in becoming one of the founders of AT&T. So he's tall, he's technical, and coming in and listening to his manager, and there's a lot of hype around him, and he feels he's going to be a champion in the near future.
Now please help me in welcoming his opponent, Paul Banasik.
I just mentioned that Paul Banasik went back to Thailand to try and find some motivation, to find some more success. And boy, did he, Joe, on fire right now after 5 straight KO wins.
Yeah, but he's still looking for his first Glory win, and he's had some unlucky fights here, but an exciting fighter to watch. He's a southpaw with good kicks, and he's learning, and he keeps developing his boxing as well. But very talented and difficult to beat being at that tall range because he can mix his strikes really well.
Here's our tale of the tape for our opening bout tonight. Paul Banasik and Taylor Kral, both of them 26 years old. But look how big Banasik is for the the division. He's 6'4", but somehow it's Kral that has the reach advantage by 2.5 inches.
With professional experience, double for Paul Banasik. But you got to look at that KO power that Taylor Kral has, and that's where Banasik needs to make sure he stays really technical.
Here are the rules tonight. 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Punches, kicks, and knees are the legal strikes. 3 knockdowns in a round or 4 in the fight, and it's a TKO.
The belts are going to be scored using the following prioritized criteria, starting with knockdowns, followed by cumulative damage inflicted, followed by number of clean scoring strikes, but with an emphasis on spectacular techniques over your normal scoring techniques. Finally, if there's no clear advantage, judges look for aggression.
Open scoring tonight. You will see the judges' scores after each and every round. It'll be 3 judges scoring on the 10-point must system.
Our first bout of the evening in the welterweight division, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, standing on my left and fighting out of the black corner, trained in Muay Thai, he is a true mixed martial artist. He's coming off a second-round knockout in a boxing matchup in Delaware just a few months ago. As a kickboxer, 5 wins with 2 losses, but all 5 of those wins have come by way of knockout. He makes his glory debut here tonight. Standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, 1.88 meters, he weighed in at 169.4 pounds, 76.8 kilos. Fighting out of Sunrise, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, it's Taylor T.K. Kral. His opponent standing on my right and fighting out of the white corner, a 2-time gold medalist at the WKA World Championships. He holds a professional record of 10 wins with 5 losses. 7 of those 10 wins have come by way of knockout. Standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, 1.93 meters, he weighed in at 168.4 pounds, 76.4 kilograms. He's here in Florida today, fighting out of East Hartford, Connecticut. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Paul the Reaper Bonacci. And the referee in charge of this bout is Wayne Spinola.
Okay, gentlemen. All right, guys, you know the rules. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. If you want to now, touch gloves. Step back. I'll get you guys started. We're good? Good here? Chris, you're good?
Taylor Kral in the black gloves, Paul Banasik, the Reaper, in the white gloves. Joe, Paul has not won yet in glory, but every one of his fights has been very exciting.
Okay,
Yeah, he throws down. He's a hard hitter. Even when he gets hit, he's going to keep coming forward.
In his last fight here in glory, broke his hand. Said that's really not an excuse, though, from my loss. But you'll see me tonight at my best. I'm 100% mentally and physically. It's the best I have to offer on display.
And you're going to see really good left kicks from Banasik, and he changes levels as well with it. So Kral's going to have to come in and try to close the distance, being the shorter fighter.
2 Americans squaring off. You'll see a lot of American talent here tonight in Orlando. Glory making its first appearance in Florida.
Kral in the pre-fight interview said he really wanted to use his feints, get his boxing going, use his explosiveness.
Says he throws everything with KO power. He likes the low kicks already.
Banasik staying really patient right now.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe he's trying to lure Kral in to make a mistake.
Well, I'm sure he knows that Kral has a lot of good power in his hands, so that's him staying defensive. Because a good counter off a left kick is power punching. Just like that.
Kral 5 wins, all 5 by knockout. Nice body kick there from Banasik, who's from East Hartford, Connecticut, but has traveled so much, he says, I basically live full-time in Thailand now. Ooh, good body kick there from Kral.
Yeah, he's starting to put his combinations together, and I really like how he's mixing his boxing with his kicks.
And this is Kral's glory debut, but so far he looks very comfortable, does not look nervous at all.
He has a professional record of 5-2, all 5 wins coming by knockout.
Interesting, Banasik looks so much taller, but indeed it's Kral who has the longer reach.
And it's Kral also using his movement, staying in and out. He's not staying in Banasik's range. He's constantly circling away because he knows that left kick's coming.
Good uppercut there, sneaking it in from Taylor Kral.
Banasik now trying to open up with some punches.
Banasik putting some pressure on himself in this fight. Said, listen, I've got to win. If I was Glory and I lose this fight, I'm probably not here anymore. I need a victory, and I need it bad.
Fight. 10 seconds.
So good opening round here for Kral.
Yeah, I'm really liking that inside low kick, follow punches. Good power, good ending for Kral.
Here's Paul Banasik, the nickname The Reaper. You saw him yesterday at the weigh-ins. He had a nice bandana around his mouth with a skull on it. That's his signature strike. He said anything from the left side, and he is a 4-time North American National Muay Thai champ.
His opponent, Taylor Kral, also from the United States. Signature strike, that straight right. And as I mentioned earlier, he's the son of MMA pioneer Roger Kral, who was one of the key parts of what became American Top Team.
Ready? Fight.
Round 2 scheduled for 3 here. This is our opening prelim in Kissimmee, Florida. Glory Super Fight Series, about 45 minutes away. Open scoring, all 3 judges giving it to Taylor Kral. No surprise there.
Yeah, no, I'm really impressed. Oh,
wait a second.
I was just about to say, I'm really impressed with his movement and distance control.
Banasik seemed like he'd been setting something up.
Yeah, Banasik just needs to pressure more. He needs to start coming forward. He can't wait and be patient. He's got to keep going for it. This is why he's having a good start to the second round. Maybe round 1 strategy for Banasik was to let Kral use some of his power, feel the power first.
Well, Banasik said in his last fight,
that'll
be below the belt. In his last fight against Justin Moss, he could see the openings, but he just couldn't land his punches in time because he'd broken his right hand. He thinks he can see some holes tonight in Taylor Kral's game.
Yeah, brother. You're up to 5, okay? You let me know when you're ready.
Kral will be given as much time as he needs, up to 5 minutes. And a lot of times, Joe, these guys don't want the 5 minutes, especially if they got a little momentum.
Yeah, especially if they're winning before that low blow, they want to get right back in.
Here it is, Joe.
Yeah, for me, I heard the sound. That was enough for me. I didn't need this replay. Yikes.
It was just a few moments before that where Banasik landed his best strike of the fight, so this coming at a pretty good time for Kral. Not that it's ever a good time to get kicked below the belt, but if you're going to take the shot, why not when you were just starting to maybe slip a little bit? Coming up next, Nick Chasteen, the golden boy in action.
Okay.
Looking for his second Glory victory.
Okay, don't retaliate. Okay, Joe, let me go. Keep it clean. Touch him up. Fight.
Back to the low kicks, Taylor Kral. But Banasik being much more aggressive here in round 2.
Yeah, that's what he said in the pre-fight interview. He says, I got to pressure him. I got to fight him with my hands. So this is the boxing pressure now that he talked about bringing.
Stop! Break clean.
And now he's forcing Kral to fight.
Stop! Break clean.
Paul Banasik very comfortable in the clinch, but you've got to have an active clinch here in Glory.
Yeah, I still feel a good weapon for Banasik in this fight would be his knees. Knowing that Kral is a heavy puncher, you know, defend the head, throw those knees right down the middle. Banasik with the level change with the kick now.
You know, I was asking this before the show, Joe. When you got a big guy like that throwing a kick, how do you know if it's coming to the rib cage or to your head, and how do you block both at the same time?
Yeah, and I said you got to bring your knee to your elbow, so you basically block your head, your body, and the leg at the same time. That's why you got to learn to block with your shins.
That's the thing about kickboxing. It hurts almost as much to land a kick as to have one blocked.
Adrenaline is great. You don't feel it when you're in there.
Yeah, mind the balls that time.
These low blows are starting to be frustrating for Crawl.
1 point.
And they're taking a point away.
1 point for low blow. Stay right there.
You can see it really affecting the fight.
So Banasik lost round 1 and will most certainly lose this round with a point deduction.
I don't want to be involved in this fight. Okay, you gotta control your kicks, you gotta control your knees, okay? You gotta aim higher, you gotta aim lower. That's just the name of the game, okay? All right, don't do it again. I don't want to be involved, don't do it again, okay?
Well, Banasik knows he can get a knockout. He's won his last 5 by KOs. So a lot of pressure on him now to finish the job against Taylor Crawl, who suffered his second low blow in this fight.
You ready? Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Ready? Fight!
Banasik starting with that pressure. Needs to. The problem is when Banasik comes in like that, this is where Crawl can use his power punches.
It looks like Banasik's trying to get in and, to what you said, get those knees going.
Yeah, he's got to use his punches to knees. You can see Crawl really good with his movement, staying just outside of that kick, and then he tries to explode in. So this is where Banasik needs to use those knees. Definitely a better round for him minus those knees to the low blow.
Stop! Time.
Subscribe to Glory Kickboxing on Snapchat. Discover for epic weekly Glory content. It's our Glory Snapchat page. Finding it's easy. Just type in glorykickboxing.com and hit the subscribe button. Our own Bazooka Joe Joseph Valtellini was recently featured in episode 3, which you can catch right now.
Go check it out and watch. It's little clips of my knockouts in my career.
Here's a low blow, Joe.
Yeah, he's doing those Thai skip knees. And I mean, it's really hard to tell if they hit low sometimes because of the belt line, and sometimes even hitting the top of the jock could cause the low blow, especially since one landed earlier flush.
I'll tell you, from that angle, it looked right on the belt line.
Yeah.
Either way, the referee took a point away, and that changes the complexion of this fight, as we'll see the judges' scores for round 2. 10-8, 9-9, and 10-8. So Banasik needs at least a knockdown, if not a knockout, here in the third.
Stop. Fight.
Crawl needs to start letting his hands go.
That left hand right on the temple for Banasik.
Yep, he's landing it now. He just landed a good right hook, too.
And Banasik may at some point say, you know what, let's just get into a street fight. Put me in a phone booth with this guy.
And now you see Crawl being a little bit less technical with his punches. Now he's just winging them.
Well, Crawl knows he's got this fight won unless he gets knocked down. Oh, nice left hand there for Banasik. Into the body. Crawl not showing good body language here, Joe, and there's some knees.
No, he needs to circle out or clinch up. He can't just stay in that mid-range as Banasik throws.
And true to form, another exciting fight for Banasik. Left hand inside for the Reaper.
And he comes right forward. He closes that distance right away.
Good jab into the knees, another knee. And right now, Taylor Crawl is taking some deep breaths.
Yeah, you see Crawl really trying to loop his punches, but he's hurt.
Right hand is down by his waist. Let's see if the Reaper can get this knockdown that he so desperately needs. How about these knees?
Yeah, and Krawl's defending the body. That's when Banasik needs to take the knees to the head.
Another knee. Taylor Crawl just sitting there taking these shots.
Yeah, he needs to go and clinch up. He can't defend knees that way.
A minute to go here in Orlando. Crawl, a right hand of his own.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, and he's going to whip overhand punches now.
Another knee to the body, and another one, another one. How is he still standing? A glance up to the clock now for Taylor Crawl.
Banasik is throwing everything behind his punches now.
If Crawl survives the round, he wins the fight. It's that simple. But how can he when he keeps taking knees to the face? And now rights and lefts for Banasik.
He's trying to move his head to try to make it harder for those knees to land, but poor defense from in the clinch range from Crawl.
10 seconds left. Banasik, a kick.
Yeah, he tried throwing the head kick now as Crawl's defending the knees to the body.
And that will do it. Taylor Crawl gets beat to a pulp in the third round, let's be honest, but he still will win the fight.
One knee in the clinch, sir.
How did he absorb all of those knees?
Well, that just shows where he has an area to develop on. I mean, you can't defend knees in the clinch that way. So I'm sure it's a big learning experience for Crawl.
Now, explain the rule there, because Crawl's corner is saying, listen, you can only throw one strike in the clinch.
No, you have an active clinch. You have 5 seconds. As long as you're working in there, you can keep working. I mean, after 5 seconds, you can disengage from the clinch, attack again, go back in, but you need to stay active in there. If he was holding and pausing, that's a different story.
Now, my question, is it considered a clinch when it's only one guy? Like, you could see that Banasik had his hands on the head. It was throwing knees, but Crawl wasn't grabbing back.
Well, the fact that Banasik had both of his hands around the neck and that nice tie grip there, it is considered the clinch. Even though Crawl just needed to kind of grab, maybe low clinch, maybe, you know, push forward, but standing there to defend punches with your forearms like that is not the greatest technique when it comes to defending.
Well, it's a learning experience for him. It was his glory debut, but once again, credit to the Reaper for bringing the heat again tonight. And if Crawl does indeed get this decision win, as we expect him to after looking at the open scoring, this will be the first time he's won a fight by decision. His previous 5 wins have all come by stoppage. And here are the highlights, Joe. Take us through them.
Well, there's that great first round for Crawl. We saw him really use good movement, good distance control. He was really circling away, shutting down that left kick of Banasik. You know, Banasik did land some good punches, but Crawl was able to survive and do really good work with his inside low kick in boxing. You know, a lot of these highlights are showing Banasik using his knees and his kicks, but that was what the second and third round was Banasik really having to pressure, come forward, try to land what he can. But after those low blows, it seemed to really slow down Crawl, where he really couldn't get any offense going. So maybe it was those knees took the gas out of him.
And the one caveat you might want to think about, was Banasik dominant enough in that third round for a judge to score 10-8?
Well, it's up there. We're going to see, but I still think he would be losing on the scorecards with that.
Let's find out now as we go into the ring. And Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout goes the distance, so we go to the judges' scorecard. Let's take a look at the totals from our 3 ringside judges. One judge scores the bout 29-27. Another judge has it 28-27. Our third and final judge scores it even 28-28. It is a majority decision for your winner, Taylor Crawl.
All right, I'm here. I'm here with your winner, Taylor Crawl. A tough fight, my man. Give me your thoughts on this fight so far. You had a great first round.
Yeah, I had a good first round. I felt like he was targeting low. I don't know. Probably wasn't on purpose, but that really took it out of me the second round. Every time we would get in the clinch, he would knee me low. But other than that, yeah, last round was not good. But the first two, I thought I was moving good. But like I said, he was going low a lot. I don't know.
Did you feel that it took the energy out of you? Is that what happened?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Not gonna lie.
So since this was your debut, you got the win. Rate your overall performance, and what's your thoughts on this so far, and where we're gonna see you in the future?
It definitely wasn't my best, but I'm gonna bounce back. And you know, I like to knock people out. I don't like to win by decision. So I was very, very upset with myself, but I'll be back.
All right, well, congratulations, and let's keep improving, my man. All right, let's hear it one more time for your winner, Taylor Crawl.
So Taylor Crawl gets a victory and glory in his debut, his 6th win overall. Coming up after the prelims, one more fight to go. It'll be our Glory Super Fight Series, and in our main event, 2 former champions collide. #1 Sergey Adamchuk and #5 Kevin Van Nostrand. As for Adamchuk, fighting out of the Ukraine, 38-10 with 14 KOs. He's won 3 of his last 4. The lone loss came against the reigning champion, Panamaran.
Yeah, and since he's been in Glory, he's always been sitting in that top 3 range. So, I mean, he's ready and he's motivated to try to get back in there and get another title crack.
As for Van Nostrand, one of the most dynamic, exciting strikers Glory has ever seen. 18-3 overall with 12 KOs.
Yeah, and he just keeps adding different tools to his repertoire. We've seen him, you know, use spinning kicks and spinning back fists. Just a fun fighter to watch. And he focused a lot on his strength and conditioning because he feels that he needs that little bit of extra power in his punches. So let's see if he can land any of them.
So coming up at the top of the hour, it's the Glory 67 Super Fight Series.
The last of our 2 preliminary bouts is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the lightweight division. And first to make his way to the Glory ring for his debut, please welcome Javanis Ross.
Javanis Ross told us, "I am my own coach. I don't need anybody else." In fact, he said he taught himself how to fight by watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, and he's also taking this fight on like 3 days notice. So once he heard the opportunity to come and fight for Glory, he couldn't let it down. And he really wants to represent what he calls his style as that street tie.
He's got to get his shirt off, but he has some MMA experience. And watching some clips online, he's got some nasty knees.
And he's got some KO power from all of his weapons. So, I mean, he's 4-2 in MMA with all 4 wins coming by knockout. And asking him what did those knockouts come from? He says, I have punches, I have kicks, and I have knee finishes.
He's the pride of Stark, Florida. Calls his style street tie.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent, Nick Chasteen.
Nick Chasteen couldn't be any further on the opposite side of the spectrum of Javanis Ross. This guy is classically trained. He and his 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, literally born into the game. Their father, John, a 2nd-degree black belt in Kempo Karate, was also a kickboxer and a Muay Thai fighter back in his day.
And he looked great in his last fight against John Morehouse. He really came in there and he started wanting knockouts. He's throwing everything with power. So a lifelong martial artist that's looking for a finish tonight.
Here's our tale of the tape. Nick Chasteen, 30 years old, 6 foot 1 inches tall with a 73-inch reach. As for Ross, 24, 6 feet even, and a 68-inch reach.
We are once again scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, this time in Glory's lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, a mixed martial artist and a striker who will make his professional and Glory debut here tonight in Orlando. He stands 6 feet even, 1.83 meters, and he weighed in at 153.4 pounds, 69.6 kilos. Fighting out of Stark, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Javanis, the Conqueror Ross. Here now is his opponent, fighting out of the white corner, coming off his first Glory win in Chicago by unanimous decision. As a professional, 9 wins with 6 losses. 3 of those wins have come by way of knockout. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, 1.85 meters, and weighed in at fight time at 154.2 pounds, 69.9 kilograms. He fights out of Phoenix, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Nick, the Golden Boy, Chasteen. The third man inside the Glory ropes, your referee is Josh Rogers.
Your instructions in the locker room. If there's any questions, ask them now. If not, touch them up, back to the corner, wait for the bell. Judge is ready.
Judge is ready. Self-taught Javanis Ross.
Judge is ready.
And he basically trained from birth by his father, Nick Chasteen, the Golden Boy.
This is wrong.
No odds on this one in Vegas, but I'd put it at what, 20, 30 to 1, Joe?
Yep, Chasteen a big favorite, and this was his 3rd opponent switch. So I think he's just happy to have a fight.
To his credit, Ross told us, hey, I fought Jim Miller and John Morehouse.
Good, Mike.
Former Glory fighters.
Ready?
Said he beat both of them. I can beat Nick Chasteen. Let's see if he's right. Round 1 scheduled for 3.
Again, he has nothing to lose, so let's see what package he's going to bring. But he definitely looks like the smaller fighter.
And Joe, when you're fighting a guy who you really don't know what to expect, what do you do? What's the main thing you got to do first?
Well, if I'm Chasteen, I'm staying really defensive upstairs with my boxing, and I'm going to mix my kicks. So stay defensive, chop away, just like he's doing.
Went for that high kick, which was blocked by Ross. It still nearly knocked him down.
And Chasteen is a USA Muay Thai veteran. A lot of his fights coming in Muay Thai, so very good with his kicks, solid knees, good power.
Ross trying to get inside, land some punches. But he might not be able to walk if Chasteen keeps landing those low kicks.
That's one of the big differences from MMA. You know, guys in MMA don't tend to block low kicks that well. When you're fighting a Muay Thai specialist like Chasteen, he's going to keep attacking them.
Right hand on the ear, Ross still upright.
Yeah, Ross is still moving around. There he checked one. And you can see him when he's ready, he's going to unload with some hands.
Chasteen promised to, quote, obliterate this guy. And there it is! As if on cue, a lightning quick right hand sends Ross down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You good to continue? Yes, sir. Hands up, step to me.
Chasteen now trying to finish the job. 3 professional KOs looking for number 4, but Ross not going to go down without a fight.
Yep, Chasteen's chopping the legs, brings the attention to the leg, and then throws the hands upstairs. Change the attention of attack.
Ross landing a left hand.
Yeah, he came in with a left hook. Chasteen still needs to respect that power, because you see Ross really winging them.
Now to the hands goes Chasteen.
Right.
Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
Body kick for Chasteen. Everything's landing at this point.
Yeah, look at that level change and mix of strikes. One of Chasteen's best attributes.
Right.
He can punch, kick, and mix his knees in combination really well.
Oh, how about some flair from Ross?
Yeah, he's scrappy. I'm sure the street Thai has to have a lot of toughness. defense work from Ross.
So Ross makes it out of the round, but it's Chasteen who scores a knockdown.
Well, Chasteen looked great with those low kicks. And that punch really changed things here. But Chasteen, I like that he's trying to stay a little bit more patient, not trying to get too crazy. But it was set up beautifully off that jab. Just caught Rice right on. Jab, boom, overhand. Just touched the jaw. Beautiful timing, beautiful setup. Yeah, cut down, perfect shot.
It almost seemed like Ross was trying to throw the same combination, but Chasteen beat him to the punch.
He's charactering the shit out of that left hook. Straight punches. Mix it like it.
Ross said his neighbors used to make fun of him when he was a kid. He'd watch these YouTube videos and go practice kicks out in his front yard, and they were like, hey, what are you gonna do kicking anybody? That's not gonna get you anywhere. And he said next thing he knew, he could beat up everybody in his neighborhood with those kicks. Round 2 here.
Ross trying to use that jab, trying to touch the jab and then makes off his hook. His chin's a little high, Ross. Needs to keep that chin down.
There's so many body parts you have to worry about when you're a kickboxer. You can't just focus on throwing the punch. You got to worry about the low kick and the body kick and the head punch and the high kick and a knee.
That Chasteen will bring a full arsenal. He needs to not forget that that right low kick is there all day for him. I know he got that knockdown with the right hand, but if he invests in that leg, that right hand will come a little easier.
Big night ahead of us, beginning at the top of the hour, the Glory Super Fight Series. As Nick Chasteen continues to work away on Ross.
Yep, mixing that strikes again. He used his jabs, kicks, and knees all in one combination.
Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on UFC Fight Pass in the U.S. Oh, a high kick, a couple right hands. And Ross is thinking about maybe taking a knee here.
3,
Maybe hurt his foot.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it.
It's over. And he's grabbing his Achilles. You hope it's nothing serious like that, but instantly Ross could not stand up anymore. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, maybe it was a broken toe or
Hang on, bud.
hard to tell what it was.
The doc's in the ring. Can you go out for me, please, until the doctor's done? While he's on.
Let's see what happened here as we look at a replay.
Yeah, Chasteen went upstairs with the head kick. And then maybe the way he stepped back, maybe he rolled his toe on the canvas, but it's all I could really think happened. We're looking at the right foot right now. Yeah, really. Yeah, let's take a look at, oh, it's with kick Chasteen's knee with the low kick. That had to have been what it was.
I've been checking low kicks on my knee.
Checking the low kick. Ross hurt his leg. That's why you check kicks. And especially that checked kick, it was right under the knee of Chasteen, and that's the best part to block a low kick. It's the strongest part of your tibia.
You gotta hope it's not broken. Still writhing in pain is Ross. Again, taking this fight on 2 days' notice. Showed a lot of heart to get up off the canvas and put on a decent fight against Chasteen. Here's the right.
Yeah, see how Chasteen slightly brings that leg up so he blocks it just below the knee? That is the perfect place to block a low kick. And especially when you turn that knee out on a little bit of a 45-degree angle, your opponent's shin hits that part of the shin, and then you get results like that.
Not the way Chasteen hoped to win the fight, but when you check kicks, like you said, Joe, we've seen it in the UFC many times. Anderson Silva broke his leg against Chris Weidman. These things happen. If you check a kick, it is a very, very dangerous situation for your opponent.
Yeah, and it looks like the paramedics are going to be coming in to take him out on a stretcher.
Well, lost in all that, it will be a TKO for Nick Chasteen, who will improve to 10-6 with his 4th stoppage.
Like I said, what I really enjoy about watching Nick Chasteen is his ability to mix his strikes, and I think that's, to me, is what the beauty of martial arts and kickboxing is the mixing and the matching of all your weapons and strikes. So Chasteen does a phenomenal job at putting them together.
Chasteen told us yesterday there's no way this goes 2 rounds, and in the end, it did not.
And there was a lot of frustration coming into this fight because, you know, he had many different opponent changes. He wants the bigger fights, and talking to him and his coaches and his team and his family, they want the big fights, and they said they'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, but they want the big fights now.
Let's show you some of the offense from Nick Chasteen, and like I said earlier, almost everything was working.
Yep, here he's mixing levels well. We know he went to the low kick a lot, and naturally after you go to the leg a few times, you want to mix the head. This is him getting aggressive with his boxing. You had Ross trying to use his Philly shell here to block those punches.
A little shoulder roll as well.
Yeah, Ross did a decent job at, even though he was pinned against the ropes in the corners, he still kept a tight defense. But I think it was the level changing of the kicks from Chasteen that was just a little too much for him. Like I said, a big difference of the MMA versus kickboxing is the ability of kicking. Kickboxers kick a lot more than they do in MMA.
It looks like Ross won't be kicking anyone anytime soon. Wish him the best. Hopefully that gets healed up quick. You know, he's still a young guy and he's still relatively new to the fight game, be it kickboxing or MMA.
But I mean, a lot of us didn't even expect him to get out of that first round, but he survived it. He got knocked down, came back, defended the punches, took the fight on 3 days' notice. So there is a lot of credit that you got to give to Ross.
We'll make it official now, and Tim Hughes.
Before we give the official decision here, if you would, please give Javanis Ross a big round of applause. You watched it as it happened with the black corner unable to continue. Our referee, Josh Rogers, steps in and waves this off with an official time of 1 minute 30 seconds of that second round for your winner by technical knockout, Nick Chasteen.
Winner, Nick Chasteen. I know this wasn't the finish you wanted, but give me your thoughts on the fight.
You know what? I got to give it up to him. That's the 4th opponent they found for me since Sunday. He stepped up, took a last moment. I got to give him credit for it. I can come out here and show my worth, but it was going to go down like that no matter what. So it sucks he had to be hurt and couldn't continue. I know he kicked me right in my knee, and so it's due to a check, but I feel like that's such sort of fight, I was going to take him out no matter what. That's what I aim to do when I come here. I'm not trying to win fights by decision. It's put him away or get put away, so I'm here to fight.
With this win here, what do you want? I know in the pre-fight interviews we're really talking about getting the bigger fights. Is that what you want? What do you want to go from here?
I don't want to be bothering with anybody unless they're in the top 10. That's what I'm here for. I need to build up, get in that top 10 by next year, shooting around with the guys in the top 5. But I'll pick them apart one by one. Whatever Glory wants me to do, I'm going to do it. So I'm here to fight. Like I said, I'm here to bang. I'm here to throw. I'm not going to sit back and waste this crowd's money.
All right, well, strong words from Nick Chasteen. Let's hear it one more time for him. Nick Chasteen.
Chasteen now 10-6 with 4 KOs, 2-1 in glory, and he doesn't want to be bothered by anybody outside the top 10. Can't blame him. He looked great tonight, granted against less than stellar competition. And one more time, our thoughts are with Javanis Ross, as it appears that he may have broken his leg. One of the EMTs, as he walked by, said he thinks that it could be broken. So,
and for the EMT to say that right away, it's got to be pretty bad.
Well, coming up later tonight, speaking of unstoppables, not that I was speaking about it before, but I'll speak about it now. We've got 3 of them from North America, a combined record show of 44-1 with 26 KOs.
And I mean, a lot of big, heavy hitters, man. Vidalis really known for his changing of his kicks and his punches. Elvis Gashu's got a southpaw left side that's very dangerous, and the American Ninja can just box, kick, and do everything really well. So we got a lot of stars here in the making.
Also tonight, a heavyweight clash, some bad blood between Jafar Wilness and Angelo Marshall. Wilness and Marshall used to train together. They were teammates. Marshall decided it wasn't working out for him, left the gym. He didn't think it was that big of a deal, but apparently Wilness has other thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Wilness was really vocal about him being a little upset that he left teams, and I don't know if anything was said, but D'Angelo Marshall is coming off a really big third-round knockout, where Wilness is coming off a knockout loss, so let's see where their mindset is going into this fight, but I'm expecting a great fight with some good knockout power.
And then the main event for Glory 67, the featherweight championship of the world.
And you have Panamaron Mukau, which seems to be unbeatable, but you know, we have Anvor Banazarov, who's been living in Thailand for the last 8 years. He's got a ton of experience, so he feels that his comfort with Muay Thai fighters will give him an advantage in this fight.
Look at that, 257 combined wins, 81 knockouts. Panamaron gets most of his stoppages with the left kick. Nazarov gets most of his with his hands. Joe, is that a simplistic way to break this fight down?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a lot of, Panamaron trying to create and dictate the pace and the distance with his left kick, where, you see Anvor Nazarov is a little bit more patient. He'll stalk you, but he's got this strong frame to him where even though he takes hits, he'll still keep coming forward. And that's the key, because he's got to be able to take those left kicks, step in and throw his power. And we saw that against one of his most impressive wins with Fabio Pinca.
Yeah, the thing about Anvar Nazarov, he doesn't land more strikes than the other guy. He doesn't win a lot of rounds on points, but somehow, some way, he always seems to find that stoppage when he needs it.
Yeah, he's got that stock style. He lets guys hit him a little bit. Once you get a little bit comfort throwing at him, boom, he mixes in that power shot. So, I mean, you can never count someone like Nazarov out of this fight. So I think, this is a closer fight than a lot more than most are expecting.
All right, so we've got the Glory Super Fight Series coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern time on UFC Fight Pass in the United States. 5-fight card there. Kevin Van Ostrand versus Sergey Adamchuk is the main event, that featherweight battle. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Glory 67, the main event there, the featherweight championship of the world. He's Joseph Baltellini. I'm Todd Grisham. We appreciate you watching us for our Glory prelims. We'll see you in just slightly less than 13 minutes live from the Sunshine State. We're in Orlando, Florida.